Panthers, the word this season has been perseverance. They lost starting quarterback Alan Barnett for 4 games with hepatitis. They lost starting fullback Terrell Williams with a broken leg in mid-season. And then in the first playoff game, star running back Randy Potter's season ended with a broken leg. But through it all, the Panthers have persevered and found a way. And now they find themselves in the first Show Me Bowl title game in school history. The Jeff City Jays, however, are a completely different story. A title game isn't a privilege in Jeff City. It's a God-given right. 3 times already in the 90s, the Jays have won the 5A crown. And today, behind quarterback Ben Balk and running backs Ivan Benson and Joey Lopez, the Jays will be gunning for their 2nd straight title, their 4th in the 90s, and the unmistakable stamp of the team of the decade in Missouri high school football.
It is cold, it is windy, it's overcast, heck, it's even a little wet. In other words, it's a perfect day for high school football as the Melville Panthers take on the Jeff City Jays. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Trey Wingo. We're delighted you're here with us at Faurot Field on the University of Missouri Columbia campus for the State 5A title game, the Show Me game between Melville and Jeff City. I'm joined on the broadcast today by the head coach of the Hazelwood East Spartans out of St. Louis, Rick Gorzinski. Coach, you have been in this position before, having won a state championship in 1989. The coaches are giving their last-minute instructions. Is there anything they can tell these players to get them any more up for this contest?
Well, I think you have to get one team up, which is Jeff City, and the other team you have to take down a little bit, which is Melville. I think those kids will be really excited about playing, and everything's been written and talked about. Now it's time to play the football game.
It certainly is coming in it from 2 different perspectives when you look at the experience factor.
That's correct.
All right, we're also joined on our broadcast today by Frank Cusimano, who will be reporting from the sidelines. In fact, let's go down to Frank now, who's got some late word on what's going to be going on with the game balls. Frank.
Trey, thanks very much. This is supposed to be the game ball today, the Wilson TDS. But according to the National Federation rules, you can use whatever ball you want on the offensive end. So Melville, who likes to throw the football, is going to go to this Rawlings ST5. It's a little easier to throw, it's a little easier to grip. It's much more conducive to the passing game. Trey, back to you.
All right, Frank, thanks a lot. An interesting sideline. We're looking forward to a great game, and we'll be back to take a look at the starting lineups and the key players. Stay with us. And welcome back to Faurot Field for the State 5A title game between Melville and Jeff City. Well, Coach, we mentioned it a little bit in the open. It's football weather. It's about 50 degrees, a brisk wind, and the forecast, you have to like that rain.
Well, you can't beat this for weather for a football game, and as long as the sun's not out and it's not 100 degrees, we're fine.
All right, let's take a look at the starting lineups, Coach, brought to you by your local Chrysler Plymouth dealers. We'll start with the Jeff City Jays. They are the home team in this contest. Your wide receivers, well, that's sort of a misnomer for Jeff City because they don't throw the ball very much. Jake Taggart and your tight end, Clay Marlin. Clay Marlin led Jeff City with 5 catches for the entire season. They run the wishbone, and that's why you'll hear these 3 names a lot for Jeff City. Ben Balk at quarterback, Ivan Benson and Joey Lopez. And Coach, Ivan Benson is a spectacular breakaway back.
I think he's a Division I player, and he's been with them now for 3 years. He's been running the ball, and he's just a quality football player.
Okay, let's move along now. Let's take a look at the linemen for Jefferson City. You've got Nate Kling, Doug Busby, Prentice Dixon, and Pat Mingucci. Let's take a look now at the Melville starting offensive lineup, if we could. There's the Melville offense. Some shifts there. They're going to put Darrell Jones, a sophomore, at wide receiver. Everett Burnett, who has led the team all along in receiving, will be your one flanker. Melvin Williams is the tight end. And, of course, the key here is Alan Barnett handing off to Jason Everhart and Carlos Turner.
I think Carlos Turner deserves a shot at the tailback spot. He's been a steady player for him all year long, and I think he's going to do quite a job this afternoon.
All right, let's take a look now at the line, and that's really been the story for the Melville Panthers all season long. Where's the beef? It's up front for Melville. They've got 3 that tip the scales right around 300 pounds.
I'll tell you what, I think it's earthquake material out there. It could be dangerous for us way up here.
Well, yeah, I think we're safe up here. There's Gary Heide. This is his first appearance in the Show Me Bowl game. We're ready for the coin toss now between the Jeff City Jays and the Melville Panthers. Melville is the visiting team, Jeff City the home team. Let's now go down to the field and listen in on the coin toss as they get ready to decide who will touch the ball first in the Show Me Bowl.
For Melville, the captain, Matt Enna. Captains on the Jeff City side, we have Captain Kling, Captain Dixon, Captain Lopez, Captain Ball. Captain, shake hands, please. Fellas, I want to introduce you to the other officials today. The umpire will be Bob Stubblefield. On the visitor side, the linesman will be Paul Greaser. And on the Jeff City side, the judge will be Jay Adams. Fellas, if you've got any questions, now's the time to ask them, okay? I want to congratulate you guys for being here. I want to remind you as captains, in addition to the business at hand of deciding how we'll start the game, if there's a penalty, I'll look for one of you to make a decision. Your first answer you give me will be the only one, okay? So if you don't understand me, ask me, and I'll explain as many times as it takes. The other thing is, guys, you're the captains. If I have trouble controlling the player, or need to get anything explained, I'll look for you guys for your help. Will I have your help? Okay, good, captains. The visitors today is Melville. They'll get to make the call of the coin, okay? Who's going to be the caller? You're going to do it? This is official Federation flipping coin. That's the head. There's the tails. Give me a head or tail in the air. If I drop it, we'll do it over. You ready? Did you hear tails, Captain? I heard you call tails. It is tails. You've won the toss. You want to receive the ball. Okay, fellas, that means basically you can pick.
So Melville has won the toss. They've elected to receive, and the Melville offense will touch the ball first. And when we come back, we'll have the kickoff of the State 5A title game. The MSHAA championship football game will return after these messages from your local stations. And welcome back to Faurot Field. We are set for the kickoff between the Jeff City Jays and the Melville Panthers. Jeff City's Joey Lopez will be kicking off. Back deep to receive for the Melville Panthers is number 10, Darrell Jones, a sophomore, and number 1, Carlos Turner, a junior. Pete Atkins, of course, the legendary coach of the Jeff City Jays. This is his 10th Show Me Bowl appearance. He's pretty good, Coach Rick Gorzinski, in the bite game. He's 8-1 in 9 appearances heading into this contest.
Well, he's a lot better than anybody else in this state, I'll tell you that.
He certainly has more experience.
Or maybe the country.
And Joey Lopez's kick is up in the air, and we are underway. Carlos Turner takes it at the 10 and is met by a host of Jeff City carriers at the 25, and that's where Melville will set up shop first with the ball. Coach Gorzinski, we talked a little bit about this before the broadcast began. How important will it be for Melville to come out and establish an offensive flow early and take control of the game, perhaps with an early score?
Well, I don't think they can be conservative in a game like this. I think you have to go with the things that got you here, and a lot of coaches will go into a shell hoping that they won't throw an interception or get out of line in some way, but he has to go with his game plan and move the football. This is a very important series.
The key to that, moving the football, will be quarterback Alan Barnett. Of course, he's the only one of the starting backfield in this game that started the season in the starting backfield with all the injuries. 1st and 10 from the 27. Barnett goes right up the middle to Jason Eberhardt. Eberhardt, of course, playing for the injured Terrell Williams, picks up 3 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 7. Now, if you're Jeff City, Coach Gorzinski, you know that Melville has many options they can throw at you. From a defensive standpoint, what are you looking to do right now? Because they can run and they can throw.
Well, right now you want to discourage them in anything they do. You want to keep the field position. You're a running football team. You want to play the game on their side of the field and stop Melville from having any big plays.
2nd and 7. Receivers are split. High backfield. Once again, they'll hand the ball off. This time to the freshman, Terrell Jones. And Darrell Jones gets out to the 38-yard line. He looks close to a 1st down. Let's take a look at the starting defense for the Jeff City Jays. It's their responsibility to go up against the beef of the Melville offensive line. Your defensive end, Benji Allen, and your defensive tackle, Clayton McAboy, who's a big boy himself at 6'4", 255. Your middle guard is Curtis Howell, and your defensive tackle, Pat Mingucci, and then Clay Marlin. And they're expecting big things from Pat Mingucci.
I think they always fudge a little bit on the size, too. I think that some of these guys are a little bigger than what they say they are.
Here we go, big play early, 3rd and 1 for Melville. And they send it up the middle, and I'm not sure if Jason Eberhardt got there. Great job by Jeff City to collapse on that play inside. They saw the dive right away. It depends on where they spot it. It looks like it is a 1st down. Coach, we talked a little bit earlier about the players being too up for this game. Maybe even the coach being too up for this game. to go in that first series and get that initial first down? Does that serve as a calming influence to get them into the flow?
Well, right now, I think all the butterflies and everything are gone. Now they're settling down and they're playing football like they know they can, and hopefully they'll keep their confidence.
1st and 10 from the 38. Alan Barnett back to pass. John Powell's wide open. Barnett, a little too much air into that pass. Couldn't quite get it to him. It'll be 2nd and 10. With the wind conditions what they are, how much will that affect Alan Barnett in the passing game of Melville?
I don't think very much. I look down on the field on the goalposts, and those streamers aren't blowing too hard. I think the jitters will hurt him more than the wind will, and I think as soon as he settles down a little bit, he'll be right on target.
All right, now 2nd and 10 for the Panthers. This is a situation they don't want to get into too much. 2nd and long. I think it's important for Melville to get yardage on 1st down and take the onus off them to make big plays on 2nd and 3rd down. Handoff inside to Darrell Jones, going nowhere fast. Stuffed at the line of scrimmage. Great play by the Jeff City defense. Pat Mingucci, we talked about him just a few minutes ago, having to have a big game, and he came in there and made the play very nicely. Let's take a look.
No game. 3rd down, 10 to go.
A great penetration there by the...
I think it was kind of a sprint draw type of play, Trey, and they really came off the football and snuffed it.
Well, Mingucci made the tackle. That play was really set up by great penetration by Curtis Howell. So here's the situation Melville didn't want. 3rd and 10 early in the game. Well, Barnett rolling right. He's going for it all. The ball's hung up. Oh, and a tremendous catch downfield by Everett Burnett. Great adjustment on the ball to come back and make the catch. Coach, I thought that was an interception.
It looked like. I think he did have the ball for a second. I think he took it right out of his hand. Well, what a great reception.
With all due respect to Alan Barnett, that was a tremendous play by Everett Burnett to move to the ball. Here it is. Now Barnett's got plenty of time to throw. He could have run for the 1st down, but decides to go down long. And look at Burnett come back and make the adjustment and then steal it away from the defensive back. A pickup of 37 yards. 1st and 10 now for Melville from the 14-yard line of Jeff City. Darrell Jones.
There's that turf.
There's our first turf tackle of the day, Coach. Darrell Jones slipped up by the dreaded OmniTurf, which, by the way, will be seeing its last action ever in this 5A title game. After this, it gets ripped up, and next year the Missouri Tigers, as well as the Show Me Bowl next year, will have grass to play on. As a coach, do you like that?
Yes, I like to play on regular grass, and this is a sand-based turf that the sand comes up when it dries out, and you'll see a lot of slipping and sliding and for no unknown reason, and hopefully these kids will be able to keep their footing.
Interestingly enough, it plays better when it's a little wet.
Right.
2nd and 10 now on the no gain there. Jeff City showing blitz. It's a quick flare out to Everett Burnett. He's open, and he's got the touchdown.
There it is.
He dropped the ball, but they said he had possession. Boy, there's nothing you can do about that.
That's just a fade route to the corner, and executed just perfectly.
Well, if you could have scripted a beginning of this game for the inexperienced Melville Panthers, I don't think you could have done it any better. First possession, get a big play, drive down the field, and put it in the end zone. That's just a timing pattern, isn't it, Coach?
It's just a fade to the corner, and the quarterback just throws the ball up and hopes the receiver runs right underneath it, and he did. Perfectly executed.
Rick Nuff now will try to take the extra point and put it through the uprights. Kick is up. And the kick is good. So Melville on its opening possession and the opening possession of the game drives 73 yards on a 7-play, 3-minute, 57-yard drive, 3 minutes and 57-second drive as they take the early lead 7-0. Well, Coach Grzinski, we talked a little bit about the inexperience, but you mentioned after that first drive, the butterflies are probably gone, and now they've got the confidence that they're in a regular game and not in the big title game.
I think the confidence factor is there, and I think the kids will be truly excited.
And that's a great play by Alan Barnett. There's no adjustment there. I mean, he makes 2 steps and throws a perfect pass over Lerone Briggs, the sophomore from Jeff City, and Everett Burnett makes the connection.
It's just a great athletic play.
Interestingly enough, those two also played together on the sophomore team at Melville, but at that time, Everett Burnett was the quarterback, and Alan Barnett was the receiver. Gary Heide switched him when they got to the varsity level. I think he knew what he was doing.
That's why he's a good coach.
All right, Rick Nuff will get set to kick off for the Melville Panthers. Jeff City is back and looking to receive the kick. You know, I'm not sure, Coach, that Jeff City's been behind very much at all lately this season.
I'll tell you what, I wouldn't give them up for dead yet.
No.
They played a tough game against Columbia Hickman and all the Blue Springs, and they played some tough football games.
The kick is up. It's a sidewinder. It bounces at the 12 and bounces over the head of the receiver and into the end zone. So Jeff City will set up shop with their first possession at the 20-yard line. Now, we talked about what Melville had to do in their first possession, Coach. Everybody knows what's coming with Jeff City. They don't try and surprise you, and I think that's what makes them even more amazing as a football team. They don't try and fool you. We're going to run the triple option. We're going to run the wishbone, and it's up to you to stop us.
And they do it when they're in the 7th grade. I mean, they do it excellently, and nobody executes better than they do. And we'll see if they can mount a drive together and move that ball down the field.
Well, as soon as they touch the ball, the rain starts to touch the turf here. Ben Bach hands off inside to Joey Lopez. Joey Lopez dives up to about the 24.5-yard line, pick up of 4 yards. Of course, handing off to Joey Lopez is nothing new for this team.
Joey's a workhorse for this football team, and I think...
Let's take a look at the Melville defense that the Jeff Cities will be running against. Melvin Williams, Darren Keeley, Matt Anna, Sherman Wilderness, and Jason Eberhardt. A lot of beef up there.
Yeah, it might as well.
And then the linebackers, Robert Franklin and Bob Cunningham, and the safeties, Turner and DeMario Patton. Second down now, and they get it to their breakaway back, Ivan Benson. Benson dives up to the 29-yard line, looks to be just short of a first down, bringing up 3rd and short. Ivan, of course, a great story. He's averaging over 8 yards a carry for Jeff City. In fact, his first play from scrimmage this year was an 83-yard touchdown.
Well, he's an excellent back and a Division I player, and I'm sure he'll go to any college that he wants to. And he's been in this backfield for 3 years now, and a lot of coaches are happy to see him leave.
3rd and short. The pitch goes out to Ivan Benson. It's a bad pitch. Great penetration by Melville, and they stop him short. Carlos Turner was in the backfield to put him down. Oh, and Ivan Benson is down. Benson is down. Now, Benson has had a bruised knee. He missed some action late in the season. Oh, dear.
Boy, you hate to see that on the first series of downs. You hate to see it any time, but on your first series, your team is moving the ball somewhat. Hopefully
he'll be all right.
Yeah.
All right, we have to take a break, and we'll be back with more of the State 5A title game after this. And welcome back to the State 5A title game between Melville and Jeff City. Trey Wingo along with Rick Gorzinski. Nice to see Ivan Benson up and running. And you want to talk about the resiliency of the human body. Take a look at what happens to Ivan Benson on this play. Oh, man. His left leg below the knee bent completely differently from the upper half of the leg. He's had some knee problems. That's just amazing to see that he can walk with him.
I think so, and he seems to be doing all right on the sidelines, and I think we'll see more of him.
Joey Lopez now punting away for Jeff City. Everett Burnett stares away from the ball. So Melville will take over on possession in good field position, Coach, at their 41-yard line.
Well, that's what they need. They need good, excellent field position, and hopefully they'll do what they did last possession.
Now, right now, if you're the Jeff City defense, you have to be a little concerned because they showed you several different looks in that first drive. They went up the middle, they pitched out right, and they also threw the ball down the field. Is keeping Jeff City off balance going to be critical to Melville today?
I think so, and I think the more they throw, the better off they'll be, to loosen them up a little bit and keep them off. Those receivers are 6'1" and 6'2", and the defensive backs from Jeff City are only 5'9", and it makes a little difference.
Well, unfortunately, they didn't give it to the receivers on that play. Alan Barnett decided to keep the ball, and he just got a big Jeff City hello from Joey Lopez. Boy, Joey's quite the player, the fullback, the punter, and
he's all around.
The headhunter here on this play. He never His responsibility was the quarterback all the way, and he sealed it off with great backside help from Pat Kling. A loss of 2. It'll be 2nd and 12 now for Melville. Receivers are split. Right back to pass. That's a draw play to Darrell Jones. And once again, tremendous penetration by the Jeff City defense, making the sack in the backfield for a loss of 2 more yards. And that's Clayton McAvoy getting through and disrupting that play, Coach.
It's a nice draw play. It starts good, and 57 is right in there. Instead of dropping back for the pass, he was on a blitz and caught him in the draw play.
Yeah, I don't think they sold him at all on that
no,
play.
I don't
that was
think
going to
so.
be a pass. Well, here we go. 3rd and 12 for Melville. Let's see what they've got up their sleeve. See what Gary Heide is calling. We've got twin wide receivers on the short side of the field. Barnett rolling to that side. He's got 2 men wide open underneath. Jason Everhart's got the ball. He's got some blockers, and he's got a first down.
A well-designed football play.
Well, Melville escapes one more time. 2 great plays by the Jeff City defense, but on 3rd and 14, they come up with a play that really cleared out that side of the field, Coach.
Yeah, I think so, and they came underneath with the fullback or tight end. I don't know where they had. I think he was in the fullback position this time, and he came underneath, and he was wide open for a big gainer.
It's a gain of 27 yards, so it'll be 1st and 10 now for Melville on the Jeff City 33-yard line. Burnett already having a good first quarter. He's 3 for 4 for 93 yards and, of course, the 1 score. Got a penalty on the play. Melville is applauding. I must say I did not see the infraction. It's going to the official.
Offsides defense.
Now that's 5 yards the easy way.
That's right. You take them any way you can get them now.
Now, that's not the way Pete Atkins' team plays football.
No, I think maybe they're a little rattled right at this moment.
Well, that's interesting because you wouldn't figure they would be the team that would be rattled.
No, you wouldn't, but the way Melville's moving the football, it could change things.
That'd rattle anybody at the moment. So, here we go. 1st and 5 now for Melville from the 27-yard line of Jeff City. Alan Barnett to the sophomore Darrell Jones, finds a seam and runs it down to the 22-yard line. I believe he's picked up a first down. Darrell Jones is an interesting story, Coach.
Well,
he wasn't on the varsity roster to start the season.
Well, the injuries they have overcome, you know, this football team, it's almost like a team of destiny, and no matter who they put in there seems to do the job for them. And Darrell has done an expert job, especially in the playoffs, the tough games.
Yeah, I talked to Gary about that, Coach Gary Heide from Melville, and he said, well, we'd like to think we're a team of destiny, but if you look at the amazing amount of injuries that they've overcome, you have to think that maybe Lady Luck is on their side. Sprint out to the right side. As Alan Barnett finds Everett Burnett inside the 5-yard line. Well, we have a flag on the play. If the play stands, it'll be a 1st and goal.
No.
But the penalty will go against Melville. They're bringing it back. An eligible receiver downfield. Gary Heide doesn't like that call. I did not see the ineligible.
It looked like
receiver.
the same play that they moved the ball down the field with the fullback coming to the flat area.
Downfield on the offense.
Yep, that's exactly
5
what
yards,
it is.
you picked it down.
We try and be right every once in a while.
Well, it's a long way up.
It's a long. Yeah, I'm getting a nosebleed. I don't know about you, Coach. So they went from 1st and 5 to 1st and 15 now. From the 27-yard line,
well,
they need to get to the 12.
That's a shame because they were going in again. Hopefully they can overcome this little deficit.
You know, we mentioned that it seems like whoever's in the backfield for Melville is doing the job. A lot of that has to be credited to the beef up front, the offensive line of Keeley Morgan and Sherman Wilderness. Well, now we got another flag on the play. Seems to be unraveling a little bit
I
here.
just want to know how much the Barnett's father had to pay for that Thanksgiving dinner he had to feed all those kids.
That's right. Offsides now against Melville. 2 straight penalties. Instead of a 1st and goal from the 3, now they have a 1st and 20 from the 32-yard line. You mentioned that Thanksgiving dinner. Alan Barnett, the quarterback for Melville, promised the entire team that if they beat Pattonville in the state semifinals, he had them all over for dinner. Of course, he didn't clear this with his parents first. But they took him up on it, and they had 30 people. All right, 1st and 20. Barnett rolling right, dropping back over the middle is Darrell Jones. Instead, it's almost picked off by Lerone Briggs. Let's go down now to Frank Cusimano on the sidelines. Frank.
Very much. Ivan Benson's injury is not serious. They're calling it a bruise right now. They just put a new knee brace on his right knee. He came in with an injured left knee. Look for him to return the next series for the Jefferson City Jays. Back to you, Trey.
All right, Frank, thanks so much. So as he mentioned, Ivan Benson was hurting before this game, and I guess now it evens out. He's got both problems with the left knee and the right knee.
Well, at least he's going to be back in this football game.
That's the most important thing. It is now 2nd and 20 for Melville. Wide receiver split out to either side. I backfield formation. Barnett two-step drop and is pummeled by Clayton McAvoy. A tremendous job of penetration. Barnett never had a chance.
No, he didn't, and that's the second big play out of McAvoy. He's a...
I'm sorry, make that Prentice Dixon. Prentice Dixon blitzing right up the middle. Nobody ever touches him, and down he goes. Dixon led the team in tackles, and he showed you why on that play.
He's awful quick off the ball.
Well, Coach, let me ask you this. What do you have at 3rd and 24?
A prayer.
Well, if they're a team of destiny, let's see if that prayer is answered. Barnett to Eberhardt. He gets down to the 20-yard line. Put themselves in position.
They got a big chunk of it back anyway.
Yes, they did. Now let's see if they go for the field goal here. Yes, Rick Nuff is coming in, who does all the punting and the kicking for the team. So it looks like Melville will have a shot here at a 37-yard field goal. Boy, what a difference penalties make, though, Coach.
Well, I'll tell you what, Jeff City has to be very thankful that that ball wasn't on the 2-yard line, because that was a catch down there, and penalties brought it back, and I think that can restore their confidence.
They went from a 1st and goal from the 4 to 3rd and 24 from the 38. So now Rick Nuff will attempt a 37-yard field goal. The kick is up, and it's no good. Wide left. Well, there could be a possible momentum swing in this game as Melville was driving. They stalled themselves. They missed the field goal, and now it's still 7-0 Melville. And the MSHAA Class 5A championship game will return after these messages from your local stations.
Loyalty banking, only from Central Bank.
We're the only bank in the area that offers loyalty banking points to its customers.
Anytime a customer adds a new product or service, the loyalty banking system adds in more points to give them better rates on their loans.
In this competitive market, you need to look for advantages at your banks. Central Bank offers the loyalty banking services, which will correspond to lower interest rates on your future loans.
Central Bank.
Great remodeling job.
It has improved the house and its value.
Did you call your insurance agent?
No, we escrow a premium. The bank takes care of it.
Not Agency did an insurance update on our home and its contents. Your coverage could be outdated now.
Yeah, you're right.
You may need more coverage. Call Not Agency today. They'll improve your protection and save you money.
Not Agency for all your insurance needs.
Why is Joe Mockins Ford one of the leading dealers in the state? Selection, over 1,800 new and used vehicles. Price, volume enables Joe Mockins to offer the lowest prices in the state. Your trade is worth more at Joe Mockins Ford. Quality, 6 of the top-selling vehicles in America are Fords. Service, Distinguished Achievement Award for customer satisfaction 6 straight years. Plus over $4 million of used inventory. All roads lead to your #1 dealer, Joe Mockins Ford, Columbia.
If you're wondering why Rick Neff missed that field goal, you can see in the corner of your screen there, Brian Mutert from Jeff City came in and almost blocked it. And that, Coach Korzinski, probably altered the way he was approaching that kick.
It was wide to the left, and he was coming in from that defensive left-hand side, and it certainly was.
So now Jeff City gets the ball back, 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line. And we've got a flag on the play.
The play did not get a chance to run. That'll probably be offsides then.
Good ball. Encroachment, white.
Oh, must have lined up in the neutral zone.
Yes, they did. In high school, you can't
Right.
get back. As soon as you line up there and the ball's set for play, it's an automatic penalty.
Well, that's 5 yards the easy way, so it'll be 1st and 5 now for the Jeff City Jays. Well, right now, we talked in the beginning of the show about how Jeff City wanted to control the clock. Clearly, it's gone the other way so far in the first quarter.
Well, it's kind of a mismatch with the clock now, but the only thing good about the time of possession, as Lou Holt says, is the person that gets to take the ball home.
Points on the board are what matter the most, and right now, Jeff City is lucky to be down 7-0 after that drive of penalties stalled Melville. 1st and 5 now. Ben Balk with the ball, spins off one tackle and gets up to the 27, where it'll be a 28, where it'll be a 2nd and 2. Now, Coach, early on, it seemed like Melville had the momentum, but now after those penalties and the missed kick, could this be one of those turning points in the game where the momentum might swing back towards Jeff City?
Well, there are a certain amount of times that there are momentum switches, and this could definitely be one. Melville was ready to go in for a touchdown, and by penalties, now Jeff City has taken over, and they're moving the football.
2nd and 2, they give it to Mr. Lopez, and Mr. Lopez goes right up the middle, and he's up to the 37-yard line, where it'll be a 1st down. And that was an interesting formation for Jeff City. They actually had 2 wide receivers for the wide side of the field.
That is an interesting.
Now, if you know Jeff City football, they're probably not going to throw it, but if you're Melville, you still have to defend it, and that opens up the middle of the field, right?
That's right, and they had a little inside trap called, and it worked perfectly.
This time they've got twin wide receivers to the bottom of the field. They go up the middle again, and Joey Lopez breaks 2 or 3 tackles before he's finally brought down by Maynard Sims. Boy, Joey Lopez runs with an attitude, doesn't he?
Exciting ball carrier to watch.
Picks up 5 yards. It'll be 2nd and 5. Now, if you can get 5 yards or more on 1st down, it certainly makes the play selection that much more difficult.
Especially if you're a running football team like they are. That's a necessity for them. They have to get. They want to be 2nd down and short all the time.
And make no mistake about it, Jeff City is a running football team. Their top 2 wide receivers caught a total of 9 balls the entire year. 2nd down one more time. They hand it to Joey Lopez, who gets just up to the 45-yard line. Be a pickup of 3, where it'll be 3rd and 2. Looks like he got his bell rung a little bit there.
3rd down, 2 to go.
So it'll be 3rd down and 2 for the Jeff City Jays. Let's see what they call.
Well, here comes your split receivers again.
We got. All right. We have a timeout on the field. End of the first quarter, and we'll be back with 2nd quarter action between Melville and Jeff City after this. This portion of the Missouri State High School Activities Association Class 5A title football game is being brought to you by Boatman's Bank of Mid-Missouri. Trey Wingo along with Rick Gorzinski watching Melville and Jeff City. First quarter is over. Melville up 7-0. And now, Coach, Jeff City with a critical 3rd and 2 situation to start this drive here in the 2nd quarter.
Now, this could be a very big turning point also as far as momentum goes. If Jeff City picks this up, they could go a long way with this drive.
Well, clearly they need to establish the run.
I think so, and I think Melville needs to really play some good defense on this play right here.
Well, that's what makes it frustrating playing Jeff City. You know what they're going to do, and you still can't try and stop them.
Well, I'd hate to be that wide receiver way out there. I know I'm not going to get the football.
He's a lonely soul. 3rd and 2. Jake Taggart wide out to the right. Handoff inside to Joey Lopez. Great penetration by Melvin Williams, and Bob Cunningham, he never had a chance.
I think that was a great defensive play by Melville.
Pitch was going to the short side of the field, and linebacker Melvin Williams read it all the way and came up to make the stop. Let's take a look at it. Again, this is just a great read by the linebackers. Actually thrown for a loss or 2. So on 4th down, Joey Lopez will punt. Everett Burnett back to receive for Melville. Ooh, good kick. Burnett goes back, fields it inside his 10, and now is looking for the wall.
Oh, brought down at the 20. He was one tackle away.
For a minute, I thought he was gone.
one tackle away from breaking that one. Well, as a coach, let's go down to Frank Cusimano now, who's got late word on the field conditions and how the rain may be affecting it. Frank, what's going on down there?
Trey, thank you very much. You're right, the rain is coming, and it's interesting because the Missouri people tell me that the rain will actually improve the traction and the footing on this field. It's an omni-turf, so right now some sand and dust over it. The rain will kind of wash it away. By the way, Melville players are wearing high tops, and the Jeff City players are wearing some turf shoes. Back to you, Trey.
All right, Frank, thank you very much. On first down, Melville goes inside to the freshman Darrell Jones. He stopped for no gain. Let's take a look at our first quarter stats here, and as you can see, pretty much in favor of Melville. More first downs, total yards 123, but there is one stat, Coach, that I want to take a look at. Melville only has 14 yards rushing, and eventually they're going to have to run the football.
Well, I think so. In order to keep Jeff City off balance, you're going to have to, or they'll just put their defensive backs back there and they'll start picking off passes. You got to be able to run a little bit.
As well as Melville has thrown the ball today, the key to their offense all year long has been balance. They will have to find some yards on the ground, but they're not going to find any there.
Nope.
Jason Everhart tripped up right at the line of scrimmage. Once again, great penetration. And Brian Muted in the game makes the stop for Jeff City.
And I don't think you can get to the point where you're only throwing on third down either. I think you have to mix it up a little bit.
Muted comes in to make the stop. And you know, really what's interesting is quite a few times on the run blocking, the bigger, wider, taller Melville offensive line is not getting the job done on the smaller, perhaps quicker Jeff City defensive line. 3rd and 10. Once again, they go to the rollout. It's worked. Barnett's going to keep it and get sandwiched at the 26-yard line. Once again, Prentice Dixon comes up with the big stop. Well, he thought he had some room to run, but that room changed rather quickly.
Well, it closed down awful quick for him, and sometimes it looks like a big tunnel that you're going through, and then by the time you think about going through it, you're down.
On a play like that, which seems to be some confusion on the Melville side here. Rick Nuff is back to punt on 4th and 5. It's a high snap. Look out. Oh, he did a tremendous job just to get that ball away. And it takes a nice Melville bounce. So Jeff City will set up with the ball at their own 47-yard line. We'll be back with more of the state 5A title game after this. This portion of the Missouri State High School Activities Association 5A Championship football game is being brought to you by your local Chrysler Plymouth dealer. Trey Wingo along with Rick Gorzinski, and I think I think Melville fans, Coach.
Slip of the tongue.
Should be thankful that Rick Neff got this kickoff. What a tremendous job he did to adjust his body to get away from the rush of Brian Mutert and get that kick away.
That was a tremendous athletic job, and now Brian Benson is back in the Ivan Benson is back in the game for Jeff City.
Jeff City fans have to like that. 1st and 10. No surprise, it goes to Joey Lopez. And Lopez is stopped up there by Sherman Wilderness.
Tackle made by Sherman Wilderness.
If you're wondering how both these teams got here, well, here's the road to Columbia for Jeff City. They defeated Francis Howell North in the first round 20-0. Had a close game with Kickapoo 14-12 and then cruised through Oak Park in the semifinals 38-7.
That Kickapoo game was on that rainy night, and the running team does have a disadvantage on that night, and they were lucky to get out of that game.
You speak from experience, yes, Coach, that night. As for the road to Columbia for Melville, there's one consistent theme you see there: zeros. 42-0, 12-0, and 30-0 over Pattonville. 6 shutouts for this Melville defense. They've yet to be scored on in the postseason. 2nd and 10. We've got a reverse to Ivan Benson, and the defense read it perfectly. Once again, great linebacking play as Bob Cunningham came up from his inside linebacking spot to make the grab behind the line of scrimmage. And Robert Franklin also there. We mentioned those shutouts. This is a reason why. Great pursuit and a great ability to see the play.
And great size.
Sherman Wilderness was into the wilderness on that play.
He was right there.
Well, I tell you, if you can get that penetration and disrupt the play, it makes things a lot easier for the linebackers to read the ball and find it. Well, 3rd and 11 now. Ben Bach fakes the throw and avoids the first 3 tacklers, but then is brought down at the 50-yard line once again by Robert Franklin. You know, I'm not sure if that's a good play for Jeff City to run, because I don't think anybody's going to believe a fake throw more than they would if he threw the ball.
That's right. That was a quarterback draw, and you're right. They don't throw the ball, so to run a draw is pretty deceiving.
Ben Bach has completed 15 of 51 passes this year, so if you're going to fake a throw, I don't think you're going to throw too many people off.
No, I agree with that.
On 4th down, Joey Lopez back to punt. Maynard Sims almost comes through and blocks that one for Melville. Everett Burnett takes it again at his 9 and wisely steps out of bounds with his life.
That was the right thing to do. They had about 5 or 6 Jeff City players right down underneath.
Now, Coach, everybody has a different philosophy with handling the football deep in your own territory. He caught that ball at his own 9-yard line. Do you tell your kids to let it bounce, to stay away from it when you're that deep?
Well, inside the 10, we don't try to field the football, but other than that, we at least try to fair catch it. Nowadays, the coverages are so great that they're down in the ball on the 1 and 2 if you don't, you know, at least catch the ball 10 and out.
So if ever Burnett plays for you right now, you're having a conversation with him to tell him to stay away from that football.
But not a serious conversation.
Just a little discussion.
A half a yard off.
Okay. 1st and 10 now for the Melville Panthers offense. Twin wide receivers to the top of the field from their own 10-yard line. Handoff goes inside to Darrell Jones, and again, nothing doing. Let's go down to Frank Cusimano on the field with an update. Frank.
Trey, thanks very much. Coach Gary Heide just told his 2 fine wide receivers that if you see something at the line of scrimmage, you change the play. And how a wide receiver does that, they do it with hand signals to the quarterback, Alan Barnett. So Coach Heide has a great deal of confidence in his wide receivers, and they may change a play at the line of scrimmage very shortly. Back to you, Trey.
Frank, thanks so much. That'll be interesting to see if that does happen, because right now the running game is just not working for Melville.
Well, they're not going too far on the ground, and they did have some success in the air, and maybe we'll go back to it.
All right, 2nd and 10 now. Let's see what happens. Once again, it's a rollout. Barnett with plenty of time. He's got a man. Whoa! And it's picked off by Lerone Briggs, the sophomore from Jeff City. A tremendous read, as the Jeff City fans love it. Lerone Briggs led this team in interceptions this past season.
He was.
Let's take a look at the play, Coach, and tell me what you see.
Well, he's playing safety, and he just reads the pass, and he just comes over and intercepts the ball. Just a great, great play by a sophomore especially.
What a tremendous job of reading the quarterback and then making the play. And an interception is the rarest of rare for Melville. That's only the 2nd one Alan Barnett has thrown this entire season. Let's see if Jeff City can capitalize. And on 1st down, Ben Bach brings the ball down to the 32-yard line for a gain of 7. Well, we talked about momentum swings.
Here's another switch. Melville had things going their way for a while, and now with this interception, you're going to see a fired-up Jeff City team.
And, Coach, again, I think it falls back on the inability right now on Melville to run the football.
Right.
They're becoming one-dimensional.
I think you're exactly right.
2nd and 6 now for Jeff City. They give it to Ivan Benson, and Ivan just rolls over some people. And I think he's down inside the 27, and that should be enough for a 1st down, but they say there's a loose ball on the field. Melville's pointing that way. Let's take a look at that. I think they're making the ruling that he was down. Let's see if we can pick it up on the replay here. There's Benson with the ball. Oh, my. Jeff City gets a break. Clearly, that was a fumble. Well, those things hopefully tend to even out in the ball.
Well, in high school, you know, it's the whistle. It's not when the ball, I mean, the knee hits the ground. So maybe the whistle blew a little early.
You're being far too kind, Coach.
I never criticize those officials, and I hope they're all listening.
As far as they know, right? Well, we've got a timeout, Jeff City, after that play. And we will also take a timeout with Melville leading Jeff City 7-0. Stay with us. Welcome back. Melville leading 7-0. Now here is that last play. Let's see if we can hear the whistle before the fumble by Ivan Benson. Take a listen. Well,
I didn't hear anything.
I didn't hear it. That was a fumble, my friends. If you're Ivan Benson, you're hoping that replay wasn't shown on television. Well, you mentioned Jeff City was fired up, and they were a little bit too fired up right there. Nate Kling was looking for somebody to hit, and he couldn't wait.
Well, he kind of jumped off sides there, and I'm sure they want to get this ball in the end zone as quick as possible, and sometimes that'll happen.
This is interesting, Coach. It was in this position in the first quarter where Melville had the momentum. They were driving downfield, and they stopped themselves with penalties. Now, Jeff City, from being 1st and 10, is now down to 1st and 15.
You'll notice that they're using an unbalanced line to the left.
Ben Balk with the ball, and Ben Balk is ridden down from behind on a great play by Jason Eberhardt. No gain on that play, so it'll be 2nd and 15 now. And if you're Jeff City, this puts you in a tough spot because there aren't a lot of different looks you can give the defense to get that yardage back.
That's right, but then again, if the element of surprise is there, you know, that one receiver does have 5 catches.
Let's see if he gets a 6th. 2nd and 15. Ivan Benson. Who needs receivers?
Holy moly.
Touchdown, Jefferson City.
Touchdown, Jefferson City.
Well, when you average 8.2 yards a carry and you scored 20 touchdowns all on the ground, who needs wideouts?
That's right. I don't know why they stick them out there. They could use them for another blocker. But
That was
go ahead.
That was a 33-yard touchdown run by Ivan Benson, and once again, set up by the line play of Jefferson City, blowing Melville off the ball.
Well, that's just amazing, and those kids are blocking, and certainly Melville has them outsized for sure, and those kids are doing a tremendous job of blocking.
Joey Lopez now to attempt the extra point. The kick is up, and it is good. So we got a tie ball game, folks. Melville 7, Jeff City 7 after that 33-yard run by Ivan Benson. I guess that's got to be a great luxury as a coach.
Well,
3rd and 15, what do? Well, you hand it off.
That is a luxury, and it looks like his knees are fine.
Let's take a look at the play again from the line of scrimmage. Once again, it's all set up by the triple option. They fake to Joey Lopez. Ivan Benson goes 6, 7, 8, 9 yards downfield before he's touched. Makes a great cut, sort of a leapfrog maneuver over there, and nobody can get to him to cut him down before he's already in the end zone. And you're right, Coach. Any worries about his knees were dismissed on that play.
He could have been a high jumper in that one.
Well, we got a brand new ball game.
Well, this is what makes high school football exciting. I think we're going to see a heck of a ball game here.
4:13 left in the second quarter. Jeff City and Melville tied up at 7 apiece. Joey Lopez set to kick off. Darrell Jones and Carlos Turner back deep to receive from Melville. Boy, you can hear that Jeff City crowd getting into it now. This game really like a home game for Jeff City. It's so close.
I didn't think anybody was here for a while.
Darrell Jones takes it at the 10, looking for a seam, and he's converged on at the 17-yard line. Once again, Prentice Dixon there to make the stop. As this game continues to be tight and the clock continues to run, how much of a factor will the crowd for Jeff City be in this game?
I think there'll be a great factor. I think there's probably twice as many people here from Jeff City as Melville, and don't think those kids on that field can't hear them. And they pump them up, and that's been Jeff City's way for many a year.
All right, there you see the scoring drive for Jeff City, all set up by the interception. There's a timeout on the field with an injured player, and we have to take a timeout, and we'll be back with more of the State 5A title game after this. And welcome back to the Missouri 5A title game. Melville and Jeff City tied up at 7. You're looking at B.J. Goldhammer, who was injured on that kickoff return, got his bell rung. We sure hope he's okay. Melville takes over first down from the 18-yard line. And Darrell Jones, the sophomore, gets up positive yardage up to the 24. Coach, that may be the longest run from scrimmage Melville's had all day.
And you'll notice they didn't go east and west that time. They ran the ball right at him. It was a blast play with a fullback lead, and those big guys, you know, can knock those littler guys off the ball if they could just run the ball and keep it right at them instead of east and west.
Yeah, I think they're listening to you, Coach.
Well,
we were talking about that in the break, and boom, there it is on the field. 2nd and 2 now. This is where Melville can really throw a lot of options at you. Picked up by Darrell Jones. The ball's coughed up and picked up by Tommy Boston of Jeff City. And Jeff City will take over at the Melville 22-yard line. Well, Coach, 3 things you have to do to win football games. You have to run the ball, you have to stop the run, and you got to hold on to the football. And right now, Melville's having problems doing 2 of those things. Well, he's carrying that ball awfully loose. It was stripped, and then Tommy Boston, the safety and the backup quarterback, picks it up. So Jeff City takes over at the 22-yard line. They go right up the middle to Joey Lopez, who leans forward to the 17.
Once again, Jeff City came out with an unbalanced line to the left and is running it to the short side.
How much is that throwing off Melville?
Well, it makes you do different things defensively. I mean, you have to be able to cover up people and you have to move your defense. What they're doing is they're taking Melville out of their defensive scheme, and they're trying to get them to do what they want them to do. They're conducting the game right now offensively.
2nd and 6. Pitch to Ivan Benson. There's nobody out there. But out of nowhere, Robert Franklin comes up and makes a tremendous stop. And we have to take a break, and we'll be right back with more. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's go to Frank Cusimano down on the field.
Trey, thanks very much. B.J. Goldhammer, injured a few minutes ago, suffered a concussion. They think he will play in the second half, although they will check him out again at halftime. Back to you.
All right, Frank, thank you very much. Great play by Robert Franklin to come up there. Looked to be a big game.
Looked like a touchdown. He did a tremendous job coming up and making a tackle.
So 3rd down and 2 from the 13-yard line. They need to get to the 11, Jeff City does. Handoff up the middle to Ivan, and I think they stopped him short. They depend on the spot, but it looks to be at least a yard short, bringing up 4th down.
Well, here comes a big call.
All right, you're Pete Atkins. What do you do, Coach?
This is why I love being up here instead of down on the field. You have 25 seconds to decide what you're going to do. I'm sure he'll run the football and give it to his best back.
Well, it didn't take him long to decide.
No.
They brought in the extra tight end, and Casey Payne, number 98, and they're going for it.
And Benson
Look at the formation
receiver
over here. They've got twin wide receivers in Benson and Rick Pressberry.
It's a one-back offense. And there, he's close.
He twisted forward. I think he got it on that last extra effort.
Little extra effort put him over the top on that, I believe.
Boy, that's got to be frustrating for Melville. You see those 2 receivers going out to the wide side. You know they're not going to get the ball, but if you don't defend them, they could throw and they'd be wide open.
Well, they take 2 defenders out with them, you know, and then you're playing a 9-on-9 game.
Well, they've called timeout to measure, but from the spot on the field in relation to where the chains are on the sidelines, it doesn't seem to be any way they couldn't have made that play.
What is it?
1st down. They didn't need the chains, they just need us.
Well, we're further away than they are.
Now be careful, those are the referees you're talking
That's
about.
That's right. Nice
guys.
Nice call.
So Jeff City looking to capitalize. Their first touchdown came on the interception by LaRon Briggs. And now the fumble recovery by Tommy Boston. Can they cash it in for Pete Atkins in his 36th season at Jeff City? 1st and 10 from just outside the 10. They can get a 1st down without scoring. Quick inside, the belly dive to Joey Lopez. He leans forward for 2. And we've got an official timeout. Timeout, Jeff City. Jeff City taking the timeout on the field here. This actually may be a good timeout for Melville, even though Jeff City has called the ball.
I think so.
A little rattled.
I think they are a little rattled, and it's a good time just to settle down and do what you do best. And they've shut out a lot of teams this year on defense, and I'm sure the coach is talking to them and just telling them just that. Settle down, play our defense, and make some great plays.
That touchdown, the touchdown already scored, is the first touchdown in 16 quarters.
Yeah, that's unbelievable.
Against Melville. But Jeff City knows what to do when they get in the playoffs. Well, since 1968, only 1 team has qualified for more playoff games than the Jeff City Jays.
Pete Atkins talking to his crew, Gary Heide talking to his crew to try and settle them down.
Another thing is Pete Atkins winning. I mean, 404 victories. That's 40 years going 10-0. You blame the losses on your assistants.
Absolutely. He's in the Missouri Hall of Fame, the National Football Hall of Fame. Benson right now, 9 carries, 47 yards, and 1 TD. One TD, the 33-yard effort. So, both teams ready to go one more time. It'll be second and 9. Ball on the 8-yard line. An unusual motion play there as Joey Lopez took the ball. But if you notice on that play, Melvin Myers was running backwards toward the sidelines and then turned back up towards the field.
Yeah, I think they were trying to get outside of those big tackles from Melville, and they didn't quite do it. But it was good play, I thought.
Pete Atkins takes his second timeout. I'm sorry, his third timeout with 22 seconds left in the ball game.
Well, a passing team could kill the clock a little bit, but...
All right, let's take a look at the results from yesterday from the other title games being played. The 4A title game, Excelsior Springs beat Jackson 12-6. Brock Smith had a big day, 151 yards and 2 touchdowns. In the 3A title game, Odessa shut out Knobnoster 28-0. Justin Carter, 96 yards and 2 TDs, most of the work there. In the 2A title game, Monroe City beat Warsaw 18-13, snapping Warsaw's 27-game winning streak. And in the single A title game, it was Miller over Tarkio 20-0. Daniel Goodman, 150 yards and 2 TDs. But we've got the 5A title game still to be decided. 3rd and 7 now, 22 seconds left in the half for Jeff City. They're going to throw it. Ben Bach goes back and is leveled. Now quickly now, Jeff City's got to try and get a play down.
They may not get it off.
They're not going to get the play off. 5 seconds left. 3, 2, 1. They won't get it off. They did not get the play off in time, and that's where not having a passing game will hurt you.
I think it was probably designed for a pass. I'm not sure it looked that way, but...
There you see Pete Atkins talking to Ben Bach on that play, saying you have to throw the ball because we didn't have any timeouts. So bad clock management and some bad decisions there at the end of the half cost Jeff City a chance to put some points on the board. And right now at halftime, Melville and Jeff City are tied up at 7 apiece. All right, let's now go down to the field with Frank Cusimano. Frank.
Trey, thanks very much. We're joined here by Pete Atkins, the Jefferson City coach. Coach, what happened there the last couple of seconds?
Well, we were going to try to throw the ball to the split end or throw it out of bounds. He wasn't open, but the quarterback made a mental error. Kept the football. We had no timeout, so it's just a high school kid making an error out there. We'll see if we can't do better in the second half.
Your impressions of the first half so far for Jeff City?
Well, we just didn't do anything real good, and Melville got out, got that quick score, and got the lead on us. And we came back. Defense played well after that first score. We just got to, regroup in there at halftime and come out and do a better job.
Final quick thought, what is Jeff City going to have to do to win this football game?
Well, I think all we've got to do, is just play our game, not let somebody intimidate us out there, and play our game and not have turnovers, and hopefully, that's going to work out for us.
Coach, thanks for the visit. Good luck in the second half. That's Pete Atkins. Let's send it back to you, Trey.
All right, Frank, thanks. Boy, you hate to squander those scoring opportunities. Melville dodges a bullet, and Jeff City can't cash in on the fumble. The MSHAA 5A championship football game will return after these messages from your local station with Melville and Jeff City tied up at 7 apiece. Welcome back to Faurot Field in Columbia, Missouri, where Melville and Jeff City are tied up at 7 apiece in the MSHAA 5A championship game. The Show Me Bowl. Let's go down to Frank Cusimano on the sidelines. Frank.
Okay, Trey, thank you very much. As Coach Heide just mentioned, they are going to go with Carlos Turner the first couple of series of the second half, but they haven't given up on the sophomore Jones. They said, keep in mind, Jones played B-team football the entire regular season. He's used to playing in front of about 100 people. They will go back to him if things don't go well with Carlos Turner. Back to you, Trey.
All right, Frank, thank you very much. Trey Wingo and Coach Grzinski here, and we're tied up at 7 at the half, Coach. I guess it's time to start talking about the possibility of this game being tied after regulation, and you know what happens then.
Well, it ends in a tie, and that's the shame of it all. Every game that you play during the year is settled by some tiebreaker, and you get to the final game, and it can end in a tie. And the philosophy behind that is that the two teams that are here have played so hard during the year that they don't want to differentiate between a winner and a loser, and if it ends in a tie, it's a tie.
Yeah, but as a coach, come on, do you buy into that?
I don't buy into it at all.
And your kids don't buy into it either.
No. I remember I was with Hazelwood Central when we tied Kansas City Southeast for the state title, and it was nobody knew who won. And they were sad on both. Instead of being joyful for a tie, both teams were sad. So I think in this game, they should have some type of tie.
As you remember, to start the game, Melville won the toss, and they
go down to the court.
It's your choice now. What do you want to do? You want to receive the ball? Yeah. Okay, that means you got to kick, guys. Which way do you want to kick, or what end do you want to defend? Okay, I want you to put your back to that goal, put your back to your goal.
So Gary Heide's Melville Panthers will kick the ball off to Jefferson City to start the second half. Jeff City will receive. We're tied up at 7 apiece. We're getting ready to go for the second half kickoff. We talked to both coaches about the keys to the game before this thing started. Jeff City said, look, we have to control the clock. We have everything to be built around our play action and our triple option. So far offensively, they've managed to do that.
I think so, and they do a good job of it. And they can control the game by keeping the ball away from the other team's offense, and they're doing a good job.
On the Melville side of the ball, I talked to Coach Heide beforehand. He said, look, we're going to have to play with poise and get up on them early. They did get up on them early, but some of that poise factor may have come in with those 2 turnovers.
Well, and one was with the sophomore, you know, that's used to playing in big games like Frank was saying, and this is a big football game, and I'll be very surprised if they don't start out with Jones at the tailback.
Well, we're about ready to kick off. Rick Nuff is getting set to kick off from his 40. He's done a tremendous job of getting away a couple of kicks that looked like they were going to be blocked by Jeff City's Brian Mutert. Back to receive deep is Brian Gage for Jeff City. And we are moments away from the second half. 24 minutes left of football to decide the state title winner in Missouri.
Well, so far it's been exciting.
Let's see if it'll continue here in the second half. A lot of faithful here from Jeff City and a few from Melville as well, but clearly this is almost like a home game for Jeff City.
Well, and that can be a disadvantage to a team also.
And the second half is underway. It's a low sidewinder. Ryan Gage takes it at the 15, looks for a wall, gets a couple of blocks and goes outside, sheds a tackle, and is finally run out of bounds at the 35-yard line. So once again, the Jeff City Jays will set up shop at their 35-yard line to start the second half, looking for their fourth title in the 90s. Their fourth state title.
That's correct.
They won it in 90, they won it in 91, they won it in 92, and now they're looking to win it again in 1994. 93, excuse me, they won it also in 93. 1st and 10, wishbone behind quarterback Ben Baugh. Fakes the handoff to Joey Lopez and gives it to Ivan Benson, who dives over the middle for a couple of yards. Stopped by number 67 for Melville, Matt Anna. Senior player goes both ways. Ivan looks to be favoring that knee a little bit there,
Yeah,
Coach.
I think so. He looks like he's limping around, and this is the first time they actually tried that counter play in the football game, which has been a big play for them throughout the years.
Ivan averaging just under 5 yards a carry. It'll be 2nd and 7. He picked up 3. Clay Marlin goes in motion, sets up on the other side. Inside to Joey Lopez. He's mad at the count of attack and pushed back on a great play by the safeties, Maynard Sims and Demario Patton came up with great run support.
You can actually hear the pads popping up here. That was a good hitting defensive play.
And if you can hear it from up here, you know it was loud.
That's right. Sometimes it seems like we're in that blimp.
I think that may be a good play. Take a look at this. This is just great run support by everybody in the defensive backfield.
coming up and finishing him off. DeMario Patton goes high. Maynard Sims goes low. Well, 3rd and 5 for Jeff City. They've got that uneven line again. Split backfield. They're going to throw the ball. No, they're not. Oh, Darren Keeley almost wraps him up, and finally the rest of the Melville defense, led by Jason Eberhardt, sacks Ben Bach. Never had a chance.
No, he didn't, and I think they were actually going to throw the ball this time.
Yeah, it really looked like they were going to shock everybody in the stadium and throw the ball. Clay Marlin, the tight end, was trying to work underneath, but again, great line penetration by Darren Keeley. And then when he couldn't finish him off, everybody else decided to, and Jason Eberhardt, the first one
That's
there.
a big fella coming at you.
Yes, it is. I'd duck, too. Joey Lopez back to punt. Everett Burnett back, calls for the fair catch. Has a little trouble adjusting to the wind, but Melville gets it at their 30-yard line. So after holding Jeff City on downs, Melville gets their first crack at the ball in the second half. Score tied at 7. And again, now Carlos Turner will be the starting tailback for Gary Heide's offense.
We'll see if this makes any difference. And I'm sure they made some adjustments at halftime, and this is a big series for them, I believe.
They need to establish the run somehow.
You're correct.
And you said earlier in the broadcast, run right at them instead of going east-west?
Right. I think if you have the bigger offensive linemen and they're small on defense, you have to go right at them and use what strengths you have.
1st and 10 from the 30-yard line. They give it to Carlos Turner. Still fighting, keeps the legs moving, runs into one the back of his own players, and still picks up 7 yards. Well, how do you do Carlos?
Well, he's a fine player, and he's been there the whole season. You know, he hasn't got as much recognition as Potter, certainly, but he's a great back in his own right.
Pick up a 5 yards. It'll be 2nd and 5. Carlos, of course, has come through in the clutch before. In the second-round playoff game against Lafayette, filling in for Randy Potter the first time, he had over 100 yards in that game on a very sloppy night.
Yeah, and he's a quality back, and he's only a junior, I believe.
Yeah, he will get better. But again, you mentioned you got big guys, go behind the big guys.
Right.
They ran right behind Sherman Wilderness on that play, and it picked up positive yardage for him. Well, twin wide receivers to the wide side of the field. 2nd down and 5 for Melville. Once again, they give it to Carlos Turner. Turner gets up and is stopped just shy of the 40-yard line. Looks like it'll be a 3rd and a long 2.
Right. Well, they need this first down for sure, and at least if they get across there and maybe not make a first down, they can pin Jeff City down and still have the field position.
Yeah, I think Gary Heide realizes he needs to establish a running game.
Yeah.
And he's looking to do that right away in this first series. I think until he shows Jeff City that they can run the ball, they're not going to respect the run, and then they'll be able to defend the pass.
That's right. We saw a little bit of that in the first half.
Well, big play here. 3rd and a short 2. Receivers are split. I backfield behind Alan Everhart. Could be an audible. 2-step drop. He changes the play. He was trying to find John Powell on the far side of the field, but he couldn't come up with the pass. Pass was just a little bit ahead of him, so Melville will have to turn the ball over. Did that look like an audible at the line of scrimmage?
I think he did audible, but I think it was they were going to run a fade route deep, but he saw the defensive back playing back, so they switched it to a slant pass, and he threw it early, and he was open. He just didn't connect.
John Powell was open at the top, but Everhart could not get him the ball. Rick Nuff back to punt one more time for Melville. It's been an adventure for Rick back there. There goes another high snap.
Oh, no. No.
It's a sprint to the ball.
You don't want to do that.
Well, before the words can come out of our mouths, it develops on the field.
Well, I'll tell you what. Nothing worse could have happened right there. They were in good field position. They were going to punt the football, and now you're right down on your 6-yard line and with your back to the end zone.
And you're in trouble.
You're in big trouble.
If you're Melville right now, you are in big trouble. There you see the snap sailing over Rick's head. A great job by him to come back and just cover up on the ball, but still, take a look at Gary Heide's reaction. I'm glad we're up here.
Right.
I'm glad we're up here. Melville takes a timeout to try and regain their composure.
And we'll be back to see what happens after this.
Why do most people in mid-Missouri buy their trucks at Joe Mockins Ford?
Dent and Company.
This portion of the Missouri State High School Activities Association 5A Championship game is being brought to you by Long John Silver's. Go Fish. And Long John Silver's may get a touchdown in this portion of the game, Coach. After the bad snap, it's 1st and goal for the Jaybirds on the Melville 6-yard line.
They're unbalanced to the left again.
And they're running that way. Ivan Benson to the 1. Touchdown, Jefferson City. Well, that didn't take long.
Well, no, it didn't, and it's very unfortunate for Melville that they got such an easy touchdown. But Ivan Benson, once he gets down there, he can smell that goal line, and it's tough to keep him out of there.
Well, again, the key on that play, nobody touched him till he was 3 yards past the line of scrimmage. And by that point, it was catch-up, defensive backs against running backs. Running backs usually win that battle.
And they're dictating Melville's defense to them by running unbalanced and mixing things up.
Joey Lopez to attempt the point after. It's up, and it is good. So Jeff City gets a break. They capitalize, and just like that, Jeff City's up on top of Melville 14-7. And we'll be back with more of the 5A title game after this. Back to field the punt after Melville was stopped. But the ball is snapped over his head. It goes through his hands. That's the second high snap Rick's had to deal with. All he can do is cover up to avoid a touchdown for Jeff City, but he couldn't stop this. Ivan Benson finding a hole and finding a way to barrel over folks into the end zone. And the end result of that play was a little too much for some people to watch, including the snapper, Bob Cunningham. Well, Jeff City kicks off now with the lead for the first time in this game. The ball's taken at the 13-yard line by Melville's Darrell Jones, and he's run out of bounds at the 24. Well, Coach Grzinski, we talked so much at the beginning of this broadcast about the experience factor. Having been here before, this is Melville's first trip. They're the ones that are making the costly turnovers while Jeff City is playing within themselves.
Well, I think so, and it's an experienced ball club, and so is Melville, though. I mean, they're not young all the way across the board, and those kids just have to settle down now and do what they've done all season long. It's not a time now to give up.
1st and 10 from the 24, 7:48 left in the third quarter. Melville down 14-7, play action pass. They're going for a big chunk of it on 1st down, and great defense by the sophomore Lerone Briggs to break up the pass. Let's go down to the field and Frank Cusimano. Frank.
Trey, there are quite a few high school coaches in the stands, and before the game we spoke to quite a few, and they all echo the same feeling. If Melville doesn't make any mistakes, they have a chance to win this game. Here we are, 2 turnovers and 1 bad snap. Jeff City leads 14-7. Coaches know what they're talking about. Listen to the guy sitting next to you, Rick Grzinski. I think he knows what he's talking about too. Back to you.
As if he didn't have enough to fuel his fire already.
Yeah.
Good point, Coach.
Well,
so 2nd and 10 now. Seems like Melville was going for a bunch of it on that first
well, I think
play.
so, and I think that's what they need to do. They loosen them up a little bit.
2nd and 10. They give it inside to Jason Everhart, who is met at the line of scrimmage by a wall of Jeff City defenders. No gain.
But I think there's where the continuity stops, is their lack of production on the ground. And they're a good running football team. Jeff City, you have to give them credit. They defensed them well.
Pat Mingucci there to make the stop. One of the bigger defenders for Jeff City, 6'2", 220. With the size that Melville has, is it surprising you that they're not able to control the line of scrimmage anymore?
Yes, it is. And I'd be trying to run behind those big giants all day long if I could, but
big play here, 3rd and 8. Barnett rolling out.
Nice defensive play.
And again, that defense pass set up by the inability of the line to protect Alan Barnett. Pat Kling was in his face before he got rid of that ball.
They've tried the rollout to avoid the pressure, but Pat Kling was right there, and he had to throw that ball a good half second before he wanted to, before Eberhard could release from his defender.
Well, I think if everybody in the ballpark knows you're going to throw, it makes it that much tougher.
And how do you defend Jeff City when everybody in the ballpark knows they're going to run
it? That's a different story.
Here we go. Another snap. This one goes right to Rick Nuff. Bounces at the 40-yard line, 45-yard line, and it just dies.
And Jeff City's got good field position again.
They're winning the war of attrition right now in field position. Jeff City will take over on their own 42-yard line, leading 14-7. 6:46 to go in the third quarter. Well, big defensive series here for Melville.
I think so, and I think this is going to be a big turning point. I know Jeff City's ahead right at this time, but Melville needs a little more confidence, and I think they can get it if they're able to hold Jeff City, especially out of the end zone.
It's hard to stop them when they get them on the 6. Now let's see if they can stop a sustained drive here as Jeff City takes over on their own 42-yard line. Man in motion, they pitch to that side, and a tremendous play by Melvin Williams coming up and sniffing that play out. Never had a chance.
That was a great defensive play by an outside linebacker.
Melvin Williams read that play all the way. They started the man in motion in that side and tried to string out the defense.
He had to fight off that block, too, which is very important.
A loss of 2 yards on the play, so it'll be 2nd and 12 for Jeff City. Jake Taggart goes to the top of the screen. Wishbone backfield. Take the handoff to Lopez. They give it to Benson. Excuse me. They give it to Melvin Myers. And how do you do? Looks like he could have gotten a first down. Timeout on the field. I think they may bring in the chains. Now, who needs to throw if you can pick up 12 yards on 2nd down? Again, it's the counteraction.
Right. And this will kill a team, especially if you're over pursuing and want to come up with a big play. And I'm sure Melville figures that they really need a big play, and they run the counter option at them and gain big yardage.
Measurement for the first down, and they've got it. Well, the triple option is the basis of any wishbone, and Ben Balk ran that one to perfection. Fake to the fullback, fake to the halfback, then give it to the other side.
That's right.
That'll confuse a defense.
Well, that's the playmaker there, you know. They don't give him a lot of credit, but Ben Balk runs this football team, and he does a good job.
Last time I looked, he's quarterbacked an undefeated football team.
Yep.
1st and 10 now for Jeff City at the 47-yard line of the Melville Panthers. Fake the handoff to Lopez. Balk will keep it this time. And Melville is there to wrap him up after a 2-yard gain. Once again, Melvin Williams in to make the play. Melvin's been all over the field for Melville this year.
Yeah, he's a great player.
6'4", 225. He had 7 sacks on the year along with an interception. And he has been the playmaker on defense.
I think so, and he's been all over, even though playing on that, he switches sides with the formations, and he's more of a monster back. And
yeah, he really doesn't have a true position. Yeah. He's more like a rover back. Well, 2nd and 8. Again, they give it to Melvin Myers. He gets past the line of scrimmage, but is then stood up by Robert Franklin making the tackle. That was a good head-on collision.
I think so. It was a good defensive surge by Melville, and that's what they need. They need to, with the big guys, you need to punish them a little bit.
Helmet on
wear
helmet.
them down, right.
Helmet on helmet. So that'll bring up a big play here. It'll be 3rd and 5. Melville needs to get just inside, Jeff City needs to get just inside the Melville 37-yard line to keep the ball. Fake it to Lopez. Balk's going to keep it, and he's going to get crushed. They tried to string it out to that side. Again, great pursuit by the Melville defense. They read it all the way, and Greg Wayne came up to the line of scrimmage to stop Balk from behind. So once again, Melville's defense has come up big, forcing Jeff City to punt.
But still, Jeff City is winning the field position.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And with a 7-point lead and a ball control offense, basically what they want to do is keep minimizing the distance they've got to go to score.
Especially with a running team, it's like a chess game.
Lopez back in front. Oh, he tried to get it away. It was almost blocked. He did a tremendous job to avoid the rush and just get that ball out of bounds. But the ball may have sailed out of bounds at the 22-yard line. Well, that was a tremendous athletic play by Joey Myers.
10 yards to go for the Panthers.
Joey Lopez did a great job just to get that ball away. Let's take a look. He sees the pursuit coming up the middle, takes one step to his left and says, there you go.
That was a great job, a great individual effort. And for a good team, you need those kind of efforts.
Rick Nuff, the Melville punter, was the one charging up the middle trying to block that. He's had his share of adventures. I guess he wanted Joey to share.
Yeah, he wanted to make him feel how the other side.
First down, they're rolling out again. He gets the block from behind to set up the throw. Ball's tipped. Ivan Benson almost came up with the interception, but he couldn't hang on to it. Still, Allen threw that one into a crowd.
Yes, he did, and it looked like momentarily they were open, but the Jeff City defenders closed the gap real quick, and he would have been better off just running that ball.
Barnett got a great block to save him from getting crunched from behind there for a while. He gets the block right there, which allows him to throw, but he leads his receiver just a little bit too much.
And there's a lot of offensive receivers in that one area.
You have to wonder if somebody ran the wrong route there because you're bringing too many defenders. Curtis Howell almost got Alan Barnett from behind. 2nd and 10. Again, we're in that 2nd and long situation for Melville. Barnett straight draw play. Carlos Turner went nowhere, but a late flag on the play. Looks like it could be a face mask. Let's take a look at the call. Normally that late, that's the call. There it is, a face mask against Jeff City. Boy, when you have the run defended, you hate to see something like that if you're Pete Atkins.
Well, a lot of times those are inadvertent, and you know, kids.
Let's see if we can get a close-up look at it. There's Carlos in there.
See,
just at the very end, Brian Muter came in and just got his hand in there. They make that a 15-yarder?
Yeah, that is a 15-yarder.
Yeah, interesting.
In high school. I mean, it always has been.
Right. Well, that's a play that the coaches don't want to see.
No, and it may not. It probably shouldn't have been called, but.
Hey, those are the officials you're talking about again, Coach.
Yeah, they're from St. Joe.
1st and 10. Barnett with time to throw, looking for a receiver. And again finds the sophomore from Jeff City, LaRon Briggs.
Barnett pass intended for Everett Burnett.
And listen to the Jeff City crowd.
Intercepted by LaRon Briggs from the Jays. Knocked out of bounds by Everett Burnett. 1st down. 6 yards to go. The 39-yard line.
The one thing you don't want to do is make mistakes. Barnett throws it up. It goes over his receiver, and really LaRon Briggs just playing
center field.
Just playing center field right there. That's his 2nd of the game. He's a special player. He led the team in interceptions this season as a sophomore. So Jeff City gets the ball back in good field position. 1st and 10 at their own 39-yard line. And off to Benson. Benson sheds one tackle and then is finally stopped up around the 43-yard line for a gain of 4.
I think you're going to have to keep that defense off the field a little bit anyway. It looks like they're maybe getting a little tired out there. And
Darren Keeley, one of the big linemen for Melville, seems to be favoring that right knee a little bit. I don't think he wants to come out, but he looks to be in pain. Oh, he's going to try and stay and play in on this down. Look out now. This could be a problem. Jeff City's going to throw the ball. They've got a man wide open, but they can't find Joey Lopez. Well, Pete snuck one in on us there, didn't he?
There it was. There it was. We've probably seen the only pass Jeff City will throw in the game, and he was wide open.
Well, they try and throw a couple in there every game to keep you honest. They were supposed to do one at the half, and that one didn't work out. And they had this one. They had the defense fooled. Joey Lopez coming out of the backfield. Whew. Nobody within 10 yards, but Ben Balk couldn't deliver the ball. So Melville catches a break now, as it'll be 3rd and 7. Jeff City needs to get to the 49-yard line. Up to Joey Lopez, and he's going to come up just short. Just short of the first down.
This will be an interesting call here.
Matt Anna making the stop. Well, you're Pete Atkins, what do you do? I think he's already made his decision, hasn't he? They're going for it. In comes Jake Taggart. The senior split end. Well, this is just confidence in your running game.
That's right. It's confidence in your whole program is what it is. Your defense and everything else. It's just
4th and inches. Ivan Benson leans forward for the first down.
Almost like nothing to it.
That really does say a lot, as you mentioned, not only about the confidence in your running game, but in the fact that if you stop them, your defense will be there for you.
Well,
take a look. Well, Matt Anna was in there, had a good read on it, but Ivan Benson just leaned away from him at the last second, leaned forward and got the first down.
And that's why he's a quality back. He'll make those big plays for you.
1st and 10. They give it inside to Joey Lopez, who falls forward for 3 yards. 2nd and 7. And you're right, you make a good point about Benson's ability to find the hole. Matt Anna read the play pretty well for Melville, and still Benson was able to pick up the first down.
In a second effort, and he was trying to tug at the ball, and he just kept it and got that first.
2nd and 7. Jeff City leading 14-7, trying to get some more here in the 3rd quarter. Balk drops the ball, picks it up, avoids 3 people, and to his credit and his credit alone, almost gets back to the line of scrimmage. That's what you call a good recovery.
That's right. He almost broke for a touchdown. But that's the first.
Now let's take a look at this one more time. He met the entire defensive line for Melville in the backfield after he drops the ball, and how do they get away? And that's the end of the 3rd quarter on that play, with Jeff City leading Melville 14-7. And the 5A championship football game will return here to Faurot Field after these messages. Once again, the problem I see, Coach, is rushing yards for Melville.
Well, it looks like Jeff City is dominating the rushing game, and hopefully Melville will get on track in this quarter.
Big 3rd down play, and it looks like there was movement on the Jeff City line, and they'll go from a 3rd and 7, I believe, to a 3rd and 12 as the left side of that line jumped off sides. I believe it was Nate Kling. Nate looking for somebody to hit.
Well, I think we're going to see another play by either
dead ball. False start on the offense. 3rd down.
Not that you're a gambling man, but
no,
you'd bet. You'd bet on Ivan Benson in this situation.
That's their pass play. They hand it to him, though.
Well, their other option just ran off the field. Yep. Melvin Myers was the other one who picked up the 3rd and 12 last time. Well, now this is an interesting formation.
Double wing.
They've got the double wing formation. They're going to throw it.
He's wide open.
And he's wide open. Jake Taggart. Nobody within 3 yards of him, and he picks up the first down. If football is a chess game, that was rooked upon 7 for Pete Atkins. One more time, the formation sets up everything, Coach.
That's right. And it's just a curl inside, and he had his wing go to the outside, and he's wide open, and Balk put the ball right on the money.
Here's what you need to know about the Jeff City program. That was Jake Taggart's 5th catch of the year. He's now tied for the team lead in catches this season with Clay Marlin. 1st and 10 for Jeff City. Balk fakes the run. It's a quarterback draw. Falls down to the 27-yard line. Well, let's go down to Frank Cusimano, who's down on the sidelines. Frank.
Trey, thanks very much. Darren Keeley, who may be Melville's best lineman, just limped off the field. It's a deep thigh bruise. He told me he will return. Back to you.
All right, Frank, thanks so much. We saw him limping around a little earlier.
Yeah, and he wasn't helping him any in there, and it was a good observation by the coaches to get him out, and there I see him in there again.
He's back in already. Could have been too deep of a thigh bruise. Melvin Myers with the ball. He breaks the tackle, and he's gone.
He ran right by him.
Carlos Turner comes up with a touchdown-saving tackle. Well, Coach, right now, if you're Melville, you're really facing a critical situation.
Well,
the fact that you can't run the ball, you can't afford to give up a second score here or a third score to Jeff City.
And I think the momentum is switching towards the Jeff City team now, and Melville is going to have to play out of the hole, I believe. And they're going to have to come up with a big, big play.
3rd down and 1, and you might as well say it's 2nd down and 1 because they're going for it on 2 downs here, Jeff City. 3rd and 1. Ben Balk, the wishbone behind him. They fake it. They're going for it. Clay Marlin is wide open. Can he get it there? Oh, just out of his hands. Pete Atkins is turning into a riverboat gambler.
A run and shoot team.
As we said, that's really a 2nd down situation right now for Jeff City because there's no question they're going for it on 4th down. Oh, Pete Atkins.
Well,
had something up his sleeves.
Right. That's why he has over 400 wins.
Take a look one more time. The play action freezes everybody on the Melville line. Clay Marlin was there. He beat DeMario Patton. And one more time, Jeff City goes for it on 4th down. They've yet to be stopped on 4th down in this contest. This is smash mouth football.
They're unbalanced to the right.
They go that way.
And he stopped.
And hello, Joey Lopez. Meet Robert Franklin. See ya. That may be the defensive play of the game.
That was a great
for Melville.
Play.
Robert Franklin read that. They had the unbalanced line. They've run to that side every time. And Robert said, not today.
That's right. It was a great defensive effort, and hopefully it'll pay off now for Melville.
Boy, you need a stop. You got to stop.
And that may make Pete wonder if he should have thrown that ball on 3rd down.
Well, that tackle may have just kept Melville in this ball game.
That's right. They're still very much in this ball game.
1st down and 10 to go from their own 26. Jeff City leading Melville 14-7. 10 minutes left in the 4th quarter.
Nope.
And once again, great penetration. Great penetration by the Jeff City defense. Curtis Howell in the backfield one more time for a loss of 3 on the play. And Melville just cannot find the solution on the ground.
No, and they're trying to operate out of a draw type of running play, and it's kind of a slow developing thing. And I think with quick kids on defense, you have to set the tone by running at them instead of delaying any.
Well, the other thing to remember is not only is Darren Keeley one of their best players on defense for Melville, he's also one of their 300-pound offensive linemen. And if he's hurting, especially with that thigh bruise, he can't push off and get people going forward. Pass.
There it is.
There it is to Melvin Williams. Melvin Williams out to the 33-yard line. They're still going to be 3 yards short of a 1st down. I wonder if we can take a look at that last play, because if you'll notice, watch Darren Keeley on the line. He has trouble blocking his man, Pat Mingucci.
Right, he
fires off and he lets him slide through, and there was pressure on Alan Everhart on that play because Keeley can't push off right now on that thigh bruise. Well, Jeff City just had a big play. Now it's time for Melville.
Well, we need a
3rd and 3. They've got to get something going offensively. Powell in motion. 2-step drop. They're throwing to him. Nope. Hit him on the hands, but I'm not sure if he had caught it, if he would have been able to hang on. Ivan Benson came up to make the play. 4th down. And they're going to punt. I think you have to punt.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you don't, you're almost conceding, you know, if you don't make it. Now, if you make it, it's a great call. But if you don't,
well, if you make them, they're always great calls.
You're
Coach.
right.
You know that. So on 4th down, the 3rd down, the Jeff City defense comes up with the play, and Rick Nuff is back to receive the snap. Let's see what happens. They've had their problems on the snap from Bob Cunningham. Right there. Kick is up and gets away. And it starts to take a Jeff City bounce, but right there, Melville is there, and Jeff City will take over on their own 39-yard line, and we'll come back to see Thoreau Field after this. Along with Rick Gorzinski here in the booth at Thoreau Field. The Jeff City cheerleaders should have reason to cheer. They're up 14-7, and they've got the ball back, Coach, with only 8:58 left in this game.
Well, Melville's got to come up with something here, and Ivan Benson is certainly worth his weight in salt. If he wants a scholarship to Hazelwood East, he can get one anytime.
I hate to tell you, but I think his eligibility may be up. Well, 1st and 10 from the 39-yard line. Let's see if Jeff City can control the ball and control the clock. There's Ivan Benson. He's met in the backfield by Sherman Wilderness. Gain of 2. It'll be 2nd down. Good penetration there by Sherman that time.
I think Sherman's very active for being that big. I mean, he's 6'5", 6'6", about 300 and some pounds, and he's a very active football player.
The program lists Sherman at 6'4", 325, and it also says he's never missed a meal.
No, I don't think he has.
But he has quick feet. He has 10 sacks on the year, and he has 39 tackles. 2nd and 8 now for Jeff City. Fake the handoff inside. They give it to Ivan Benson. And again, Benson should have been tackled for a loss on that play. That's just a great read and a great slithering move by a running back.
Well, that's the difference between one of those mediocre backs and a great back. A great one always is going forward, and he does that time after time. It looks like he stopped in the backfield, and then he'll get that extra 2 or 3 yards for it.
And those 2 or 3 yards sometimes can be the difference between a first down and not a first down. Well, big play here, 3rd and 6 for Jeff City. Toss it back to Ivan Benson. It's read beautifully by Melville, and he never had a chance. Once again, Greg Wayne, the outside linebacker, coming up with the play and giving his offense a chance to put some points on the board.
They've tried that several times to go to the weak side. They were unbalanced to the left, and they tried that option to the right, to the short side of the field, and they haven't had great success with it.
They've had success when they run to the strong side, but when they run to the weak side,
they haven't had much success. And
Cunningham and Williams made the tackle, and Eberhardt made the tackle, but credit Greg Wayne with a big assist there, sniffing that play out. They're coming with a block. Lopez does miracles to get it away.
Now this could be a turning point here.
How did he ever get his foot on that ball? There were 3 people from Melville in his face.
All I saw was white and green.
My goodness.
Ball out of bounds.
So, even though the ball was kicked, it went out of bounds at the 41-yard line. Let's take a look at that replay. There were 3 Melville defenders in Joey Lopez's uniform. How did he get that ball away?
They'll show up now. Look at
My goodness.
There was more than 3.
Let's call him quick feet. That was a great play. So on first down, Alan Barnett was trying to pitch the ball in the backfield to Carlos Turner. Instead, he was strung along the sidelines. No gain, 2nd and 10.
I think they tried a poor man's option there.
And the poor man turned out to be Alan Barnett. Officially, that was a 2-yard punt, but it could have been a lot worse for Jeff City.
Could have been blocked, and they could have picked it up and ran into the end zone with that.
If you're Pete Atkins, you're happy with that 2-yard punt.
Yes.
So now the onus really on Melville to get something going here. 6:26 left in the game. Jeff City leading 14-7, but Melville with a chance. 2nd and 10 from the Jeff City 41-yard line. Barnett straight drop, rolls to his left, trying to get the ball, and it's intercepted by Ivan Benson at the 19-yard line.
That looked like it was going against the wind, and it looked like the ball just hung up there for a day.
Well, I tell you, he was trying to get the ball to Melvin Williams, but it never had a chance. No. I don't know if it was the wind or if the ball was wet and it slipped out of his hands, but that ball looked like a punt. And that is the 4th turnover of this game for Melville, the 3rd interception Barnett has thrown. Take a look at it one more time. Rolling to his right, he's looking for the man you just saw out of your screen there, Melvin Williams. But that ball was up there, as you said, Coach, a day and a half.
And a well-coached defensive back. Did you see him catch it at the height of the ball?
Exactly.
Here he goes.
You know, he's good when he has the ball on both sides of the ball.
He knows how to go get it.
Gain of 8 on the play. Ivan Benson knows to run with the ball, you got to have it. So he went up and got it on the last play, and he ran with it on this play. My goodness. 2nd and 2. That's a coach's delight.
Yeah, he is. He's a great ball player, and I'm sure Jeff City will miss him next year.
2nd and 2 now for Jeff City, and now, more than the score, the clock becoming the enemy for Melville. 5:35 left in this game. 2nd and 2, they get the ball to Joey Lopez, breaks a tackle and gets up to the 35-yard line. First down for the Jeff City Jays. Well, the only person who's touched the ball more than Ivan Benson today may be Joey Lopez.
And probably hasn't been that successful, but he's the workhorse. He makes Ivan Benson's runs open up.
184 attempts, the most in school history. Gary Heide's got to be wondering, how do I stop this backfield right now of Joey Lopez and Ivan Benson? Coach Heide, don't feel bad. Nobody's been able to do it all year.
That's right.
1st and 10. This time they give it to Benson, and he just bowls his way up to the 46-yard line, 41-yard line. A pickup of 6. Well, now I think we're seeing
a tired defense is what we're seeing. And,
we're seeing Jeff City's ability to wear down the defense by controlling the clock and keeping that defense on the field.
And that last interception took a lot out of the heart of Melville. And hopefully, I mean, they're still in this football game. Anything can happen, but you can just see they're just not as quick and hitting and everything else. Hopefully they won't give up.
2nd and 3, 4:30 left in this ball game. Inside handoff to Lopez. This time he's met at the point of attack and pushed back for no gain. Good team tackling there by Melville. They met him at the line and wouldn't let him get any farther. Well, again, we get down to a critical 3rd down play. And if you're Melville, when do you start worrying about calling your timeouts here? We're down to 4 minutes left in this contest.
But they can strike from any part of the field, and they're not like a Jeff City that has to move the ball down methodically, and they can throw the long ball, so the time isn't that big of a factor, I don't think, for them right at this point.
Probably in 2-down territory one more time for Jeff City if it's been like their game plan all game long.
Now it's different.
3rd and 2. Inside to Joey Lopez, and they're not going to need 2 plays.
Nope. I was about to say that now you're putting, if you try something like that on the 45-yard line and give Melville an opportunity to get the ball, I don't know if that would be great coaching or not. I'd probably have to punt the ball.
Well, the last time they did it was on the 50, so. But it doesn't matter.
There's a lot more time.
Yeah. First down for the Jeff City Jays, and you are watching a Jeff City team that has a system. The system is ingrained from the 8th grade on by Coach Pete Atkins, and you are watching an execution of that system to perfection.
Well, I think while our kids are playing volleyball, they're running this option in the 7th and 8th grade.
First down handoff to Benson. And again, he falls forward for 5 yards. And the clock ticks on. And every second off the clock is less time for Melville to get that ball back and get something going and get that tying score into the end zone. 3 minutes now left in this contest. Jeff City said to the Melville Panthers, we're going to run the ball. You try and stop us.
Well, they said it to the whole world, I think, if not just the Panthers, because they've been doing this forever.
Darren Keeley, by the way, not in the game right now for Melville. He limped off a few plays ago.
Well, that hurts him because he's certainly a quality football player.
This time Lopez stopped after a gain of 2, and again we're in one of those interesting 3rd down calls. Wilderness on the tackle. So we've got a 3rd and 4.
And there's no 2-minute warning in high school either.
No. 3rd down and 4. 2 minutes. 9 seconds left in the game. Jeff City with the ball in the lead, 14-7. Ben Balk, handoff counter to Ivan Benson, stiff arm, and he's got the first down. Well, that's a backbreaker.
That does hurt.
That counter right there is a backbreaker. And once again, it was a counter play. They had the motion going to the right, and they ran back to the left.
Right. And they ran to the strength of the formation, too, because they were unbalanced to the left, and they faked to the back off to the right, gave it to Benson on the counter, and he's wide open.
Gary Heide calls the first of his timeouts with 1:56 left in the game. Jeff City leading 14-7. And the championship football game will return after these messages from your local station.
Looking for free checking?
Just ask.
Second down and 7.
Room now under construction on Fairgrounds Road across from the Cole County Fairgrounds.
1 minute and 56 seconds are all that separate head coach Pete Atkins of Jefferson City from his 9th state title in Missouri football. Jeff City with the ball in the lead, 14-7. Melville's defense has got to come up with a big play. Ivan Benson gets the handoff and just churns inside for 3 yards. Second down and 7. And once again, Melville's using their timeouts, Coach.
Well, that's all they can do. And hopefully there's a turnover. The way Jeff City is controlling the ball now, it's going to be tough.
And if they win, if they hang on and win this ball game, it would be a record-setting win for Jeff City. The most state titles since 1968. Right now they're tied for the record with 8. This one would put them over the top, and they'd have it all to themselves at 9.
How nice.
If you're Gary Heide, Coach, what do you do right now to try and get the ball back?
Well, you try to take the ball away from them any way you can and try to strip them of the ball. And there's very little time left to do anything. And, you know, in defense of the Melville team, they've played a great game out here, and they have nothing to be ashamed of.
The problem there, sometimes when you go for the ball, you let the body run free, and if you don't get the ball, he's in for an easy score.
It's going to turn into a big play. That's correct.
But as you mentioned, at this point, you really don't have a choice.
There's not much to do. Right.
They've used all their timeouts. They have no timeouts left. They've got to get the ball back, and you know they're not going to see an incomplete pass from Jefferson City.
No, I don't think we'll see that ball in the air now.
So now the only way they can get the ball back is to stop them on downs. And even if they do that, there won't be much time left on the clock.
But you'll see these kids running with a little more authority in here now.
Here we go. Second down and 7 for Ben Balk, looking to complete an undefeated season at quarterback for Jeff City. The inside handoff goes to Joey Lopez. He gets a few yards, but not many. But the yardage isn't as important as the clock right now. On a 3rd and 6, 1:30 left in this ballgame. Pete Atkins going for victory number 405. That would tie him for 2nd all-time in the nation. Number 1 is John McKissick out of Somerville, South Carolina. Roughly about 420 yards. 420 wins, I should say. Well, here we go. 3rd and 8. Jeff City looking to control the clock and run it out. Inside to Benson, rumbling, stumbling, churning, and diving, and there's the first down that'll seal a victory for Jefferson City. If he got it, it depends on where they spot it.
It'll be close.
Also, the spot of the ball, Coach, it looks like he's got the first down.
Yeah, it does.
And that's the ball game if he's got the first down. They're going to make a measurement out of it just to be official, and that should put Ivan Benson over the 100-yard mark for this game. With that carry, I think he has 101 yards in this contest.
He had 93 going into that carry, so he is over the 100 mark.
First down. And now all that's left for Pete Atkins to do, kneel down and walk away with your 9th state title. Take a look, and this is all second effort by Benson. Almost brought down there. He stays on his feet. The ref goes down, but Ivan Benson stays on his feet to get the first down.
They had 12 men trying to tackle him.
But Pete didn't look real excited about that first down, did he? 45 seconds left. All they have to do now is not turn it over.
Well, they can kneel down now.
And that's exactly what Ben Balk's going to do. They may not have to run another play.
No, they don't. Well, when they set the chains, it'll be...
Nope, they don't have to run another play.
That's over.
The game is over. There you see the banner. Ben Balk congratulating Ivan Benson. The quarterback has just led his team through a 13-0 undefeated state championship season for the Jeff City Jays. The more things change in Missouri high school football, the more they stay the same.
You're right.
And there it is. Congratulations to the Jeff City Jays, your 1994 Missouri 5A state champions. In the state of Missouri, winning the Title 5A Show Me Bowl game here at Faurot Field today, the final 14-7. Your Hardee's player of the game, who else but Ivan Benson? 24 rushes, 104 yards, 2 touchdowns, and oh, by the way, an interception to boot. Congratulations to Ivan Benson, the Hardee's player of the game. For Coach Rick Gorzinski, Frank Cusimano, I'm Trey Wingo saying thanks for being with us today, everybody. We hope you enjoyed another great season of Missouri high school football.